The signal of desperation. The skies above Velar Prime bled orange as plasma fire rained down from orbit. The Draxery siege fleet hovered in the upper atmosphere like vultures, their grotesque ships silhouetted against the flames of a dying world. Deep within the planetary crust, in a forgotten command chamber carved from obsidian and crystal, Corvin, a junior technologist of the Valari High Watch, worked furiously across a dusty control panel. Status: Bart Arundel, her superior and the ranking engineer left alive. Communications are jammed. External relays vaporized. I'm trying to access the DeepNet relay, the old one, she replied, wiping grime from the alien interface. The precursor beacon. Arundel's eyes widened. That's not a communication tool, Cora. It's a myth. A relic. Even the elders fear it. Cora didn't stop typing. It's the only thing left. The Draxery are sterilizing cities. I'm not watching another settlement vanish because we hesitated. High above, the orbital station Yiral Ascendancy disintegrated in a single flash. The shockwave shook the earth beneath their feet. Arundel staggered, but said nothing more. Cora found the sublayer encoding, her mind racing through ancient Valari script. This wasn't just a signal. This was something more, a multi-spectrum broadcast designed to cut across dimensions, wormholes, even time latency. And embedded in its activation string was an old phrase, long buried in legend. Heed the bloodlight. Only those who fear nothing will answer. Her hand trembled. She paused, just for a moment. Then she triggered the beacon. 6 hours later, the Draxery flagship Krallic-born loomed over the capital like a shadow made real. Lord Grathmore, commander of the Slaver clans, stood proudly upon the bridge, watching Valari defenses crumble through the viewport. Spineless crystal worshippers, he muttered. 1,000 systems taken and not one decent fight. A bridge officer glanced nervously at a proximity readout. Commander, gravitational distortions detected. Multiple sources. Mid-orbit. Valari reinforcements? The officer paled. Unknown. No transponder codes. No biosignatures. No, nothing. Then one by one they arrived. Dark, angular ships, shaped like blades and nightmares, slipped into real space in complete silence. No lights. No communications. Just presence. Grathmore's voice dropped. What, in the 7 pits, is that? The lead vessel, nearly 3 kilometers in length, bore only one readable word on its battered hull, half-burnt by asteroid scars. Vigilant silence. Before any order could be given, the Draxery fleet opened fire. Missiles, plasma, antimatter shells. The ships did not move. For 3 full seconds, the intruders absorbed the assault. Then they responded. Orbit burns. Cora and Arundel ran out of the chamber and into the open plains just as night fell. They looked up, hoping, fearing. Where once the Draxery fleet had blocked the stars, now only wreckage drifted like frozen confetti. The unknown fleet had moved with mechanical perfection, dissecting the enemy vessels with precision beyond comprehension. No wasted shots. No collateral damage. Not war. Surgery. Cora whispered. We called for help. Arundel stared, shaking. We summoned death. A burst of static erupted from her calm. One of the few not fried by orbital EMP. A voice. Male. Deep. Flat. Distress beacon received. Hostiles neutralized. State further threats. Cora swallowed, activating her reply. This is Corvin of Valari High Watch. I sent the signal. You saved us. Who are you? A long pause. Then, we are the Deathworlder Vanguard. Stand by for contact. The Valari Council. The subterranean capital's surviving officials gathered in the Crystalline Hall. Holographic projections showed still-burning cities and Draxery escaped vessels fleeing the system. Whoever these Deathworlders are, said Elder Thale, they are no friend. They killed with no warning, no diplomacy, no restraint. Cora stood defiant, and yet they saved us. Elder Thale snapped. At what cost? We sent a signal to legends we were meant to forget, to beings the Council of Stars exiled eons ago, beings we once tried to erase. Another hologram bloomed. The lead vessel, Vigilant Silence, now hovered in low orbit. No transmissions, no hails, just waiting. We must speak to them, Cora insisted. They are monsters, another elder spat. Cora's voice turned cold. Then perhaps monsters are what we needed. Planetfall. The next day, a single craft detached from Vigilant Silence and descended toward the surface. No escort, no weapons visible. The landing site was an open basin outside the capital's ruins. Cora, alone, stepped forward to greet the arriving entity, ignoring the cries of protest from the council. The ship opened with a hiss of vented atmosphere, and from the shadows emerged a man. Tall, pale, armored in dark polymer plates laced with circuitry. His eyes were cold, gray, and too calculating. His movements precise, controlled. Cora Venn, he said, scanning her. Commander Rourke, Vanguard Division. You activated Beacon 6. I did. I didn't know what it was. Only that it was old and powerful. You were correct. But power always comes with price. She shivered. Are you here to protect us? Rourke tilted his head, almost curious. We don't protect. We eliminate threats. Protection is your responsibility. Final scene of Chapter 1. The two stood facing one another in the shadow of the human ship. Above them, stars were visible again. But in Cora's heart, a new question bloomed. Had she saved her people, or delivered them into the hands of something worse? The monsters we called heroes. The basin was still silent. Not from peace, but from tension so thick it seemed to warp the air itself. Commander Rourke stood motionless, eyes fixed on Cora Venn as though he were assessing whether she was a person or a problem. Your threat is contained, Rourke said calmly. Draxery fleet's strength reduced to negligible. Survivors in retreat. What's left will not return. Cora was silent for a moment, staring at the man, if he was a man. His skin looked human, but moved too smoothly. His armor shifted with his body like it was alive. She finally asked, then, will you stay to help us rebuild? Rourke didn't even blink. We are not caretakers. We are not peacekeepers. You lit a war beacon, and war is what we bring. The council's plea. Inside the makeshift Capitol dome, a hastily called council awaited Cora's return. They rose in silence as Rourke entered behind her, every step echoing like thunder across the polished stone floor. Elder Thale trembled. You're real. Rourke gave a slight nod, his expression unreadable. Yes. Another counselor stepped forward. We thank you for the aid, Commander Rourke. But we must understand, are you allied with any interstellar authority? The Galactic Council? The core treaty worlds? No, Rourke answered. We are exiled remnants. Consider us the immune response of a species you tried to quarantine. You failed. A hush fell. Cora stepped forward. Then why answer the beacon? His reply was short. Protocol. You triggered it. It's automated, buried deep in your galaxy's comm grid. Elder Thale, shaking, said what no one else dared. The stories said humans were dangerous. That your world, Earth, was classed as a Class 10 death world. Rourke turned to him, slowly. That was a compliment. Truth of the death world. Cora followed Rourke back to the Vigilant Silence. Her people had insisted someone continue diplomatic contact, if only to prevent another unintended act of war. She volunteered. Inside the ship, the temperature dropped sharply. Artificial gravity was heavier. Even the air felt denser. Your ship is intimidating, she admitted. We optimized it for combat, not comfort, he said. We learned long ago that soft things break. So we became sharp. They entered a chamber where holograms flickered to life. Images from ancient history, stored data logs, and battle archives. Cora watched footage of Deathworlder soldiers, humans with augmented bodies, wielding strange weapons, surviving planets that should have been uninhabitable. She saw them face apex predators, acid storms, vacuum exposure. You live like this? She whispered. We adapted to worse. She turned to him, eyes wide. Why exile you? Because we scared them, Rourke said flatly. Your council feared we would dominate. So they declared Earth a threat. They burned the gates to Sol. tried to erase our coordinates from every archive. He stepped closer, but we survived, because that's what we do. The Draxuri retaliate. As if summoned by fate, the proximity alarms blared. Cora nearly jumped, but Rourke didn't move. They've returned. Bigger fleet. Rage response. Prideful species rarely learn the first time. She stammered. There's no way we can hold off another attack. You have to help us. Rourke nodded once. We will. But understand, this time, there will be no quarter. Your skies will burn. Your moons may crack. War is not clean. He tapped a command pad. Across the system, the Deathworlder fleet came alive. Weapons deployed. Ships reconfigured. Silent engines powered up like awakening beasts. Battle of Velar.